Hello and welcome to On the Sofa with Sisu. I'm LGBTQ+IA.
And I'm Louisa.
Birthday girl. She's a birthday girl. She's a birthday girl. Anyway.
And I'm Jo.
And on today's episode, we talk about...
Birthdays.
We talk about birthdays.
Debauchery.
We talk about everything to do with DEI and the world of Turtle Bay. Jo takes us through her journey of starting in a golf club and ending as a head of people. And we also touch on some of the challenges of navigating around the space of being a leader as a female. We talk about empowering others. We talk about the LGBTQ+IA community. And we do our quickfire questions.
Which are the absolute golden of the season.
Amazing. Enjoy.
Enjoy.
Hello. Jessie, we need the B-rounds. Get them in, Jessie. Get them in. We'll come back to it. Hello, people. Oh! Hello, everyone, and welcome. Well, special day today, people. It is Louisa's birthday. We are recording on a very special day. Her Royal Highness, Louisa Davis.
The party princess.
The party princess has turned 35, y'all.
Bloody hell, what are you telling everyone that
I'm
for?
outing your age. I'm outing it.
Be proud.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, 35 years around.
Yeah.
You've been around the block, kid. You've been around the block. Anyway.
Some would
definitely say. So I thought we would do a little happy birthday from us and the CC side, so you can all sing along as well at home. And I wanted to give you some lovely flowers.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I literally feel like the queen.
They're grown in your garden.
I threw those in the rosebush garden, obviously.
And cellophaned it himself.
Yeah, exactly.
And now I'm going to light these lovely candles, and they probably won't light now.
They're very romantic.
Well, the flowers. Yeah, I thought that.
I love. I should be drying some of those and popping it in my memory frame box.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, you know I do. So basically, whenever I receive roses on special occasions, I dry them out and then I put them in a box frame and I write on the back when they're from, what the occasion was and the year. And that's my little piece of specialness. Yeah. I've got roses in there from Olajide, actually. The first roses that Maisie ever received for her first day at school. Olajide came over in the morning and brought her roses.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
How sweet. He is a lovely boy, isn't he?
We're going to do the Stevie Wonder version. Okay. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya.
Oh, I love.
Happy birthday.
Oh my God, they've got the praline seashells on.
Yeah.
They are like my favourite. Okay, make a wish.
Make a wish. Why are you blowing harder?
Yeah. Are they the ones that don't go out?
Oh my Lord, I had my eyes closed. I couldn't tell.
Congratulations, darling.
Thank you so much, Olajide and Jo.
Oh
my God, James! Stop it!
Oh, got it. No, come on, James.
They're
James,
better candles. They're much better
James
candles.
brought a cake as well.
Stop it.
It's such a cute cake.
Very cute.
It's like a giant
And the candles
cupcake.
are so much better than mine.
They are.
Oh wow, James.
You've got
Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday.
This is too much, people.
In the wings, you started. I was like,
Oh, James, thank you so much. I get to make a second wish.
Just edit this bit out.
No way.
No, this is what makes it so special.
Oh, I love this. Thank you,
Let's pop
James.
open.
Thank
got
you so
cake,
much.
We've got prosecco.
We've got cake, prosecco. What more could you want? It's amazing.
Honestly.
Just another day in the office here at the headquarters of CC.
the Launch Pod Studios. I am feeling very blessed and very loved. Thank you, everybody. This is so sweet. 2 cakes.
I know. You've got a lot of cake to eat this weekend. Can you
know.
bring that one tomorrow to the pub?
I'm supposed to be on a Mykonos diet, you know.
Oh, start it on Monday.
Yeah.
Monday.
No, absolutely.
We're going in 2 weeks today.
I know.
This is
Basically, it's boiled eggs and grapefruit.
Cheers!
Cheers. I know this is the
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, look at this. I've got bubbles and cake and party hats and roses and gosh, what a day.
I know. I'm not doing it anymore for you tomorrow. I'm getting drunk.
We're getting lit tomorrow.
Right, so let's get into our actual episode, shall we? Because people are listening probably thinking 4 minutes in and you've done nothing apart from shout and scream.
Sorry.
So,
people.
how's your week been?
Oh, it's been very nice. It's been really cool, actually. I just love the sun. That I am such a sun worshipper, and you know, when the sun comes out, it lifts me so much. So, what have I actually done though? I've done a lot of like gardening. I've been having people around to sort out the garden so we can enjoy barbecues.
Have you mowed the back lawn?
No,
Oh, right.
just the front.
Keep it quiet.
When I was in the garden,
Stage by stage, babes.
I was in the garden last night and I was thinking, oh my God, the grass is really damaged.
It is so bad.
Why?
It looks like there's been a forest fire.
Yeah. It's
But
burnt.
yeah, because it was so long. I can't even tell you how long it was, Joe. It was like up to here. And obviously when you cut the grass, when it's that long, it dries out immediately. So then you have to cut it again, and eventually it gets its greenness back. I'm going to get some like green grass food, whatever it's called.
Perhaps you need the greens person from Wimbledon.
Oh.
If you're listening, can you please come over
Yeah.
and mow the lawn at Louisa's house?
Don't expect payment though, it's a charity case. And I went to a street party in Camden last night, which was really fun. That was a blast.
Illegal rave, peeps, an illegal rave.
They say it was an illegal street party, but it was literally on from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. So I don't know. I feel like it got okayed. But yeah, that was really, really cool. Had a great time. And I just actually can't really remember what else I've done during the week. Obviously, we've had some workshops that we've been doing. They've been really fun, actually. Really refreshing. Really nice to see people actually just like willing to learn and to explore, and not always thinking like we can go straight in there and be like we can fix all the problems immediately. So that's been really refreshing, really nice. And yeah, that's been my week really. What about your week? What have you been doing, Ollie Ginger?
Barbecue season has finally started. Hurrah!
Love it. I love it.
I literally was like, we had a barbecue last weekend, and I was like, actually, one of our friends came over, and he was like, "You are probably one of the most relaxed barbecue people I've ever seen." I was like, "Really?"
I can't lie, you are very good at a barbecue.
I didn't think that at all. He was like, "You literally light the barbecue, go away, come back again, throw the meat on it, close it, come back, take it off, and you're done."
And food's amazing.
And I was like, "But that's what barbecue's meant to be."
Yeah,
Like,
there's a thing that's made that is so much bigger than it is.
yeah,
nowadays.
like,
Actually,
you don't
it's
need
simple,
to. You don't
isn't
need to
it?
stand over a barbecue
I was
and
just,
watch the food.
yeah.
tongs, with
I
your
was
tongs.
just, oh my god, that is literally what everyone does.
Yeah, I just put it on, I sit down, I sip my wine, and I come back, I take it off, and it's done.
Yeah.
Like, it's just simple. I do want a gas barbecue, however, and that's what I'm going to save up for. I'm going to use my cash back.
Can
from
I
the
ask
reward
you a
gateway.
question though? Because I was having this like debate with somebody the other day. Like, why is a gas barbecue better than a coal barbecue?
It's actually, I don't necessarily think it's better. I personally think it's easier.
Right.
So
Okay.
you can just go out, switch it on, heat it up, and use it straight away. Within like 20 minutes, you can barbecue.
Okay,
Whereas
so you
a
don't.
normal charcoal barbecue, you have to wait for the coals to go grey before you can barbecue,
Right.
which
Okay.
can take 40 minutes.
Do you feel like the flavour's the same though?
No, you don't get that like
Charcoaly, flame grilled.
burnt flavour.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Unwashed
Why don't
grill
you just get a
barbecue.
yeah? Why don't you just get a combi one?
Yeah, I could do a combi.
Yeah.
Could do a combi, yeah.
Best of both worlds.
I also really I went to Sarah and Ev's the other day for dinner, and he did a spatchcock cooked chicken on his egg barbecue, and it was honestly divine.
What's an egg barbecue?
It's like in an egg shape, and it's like a mixture of steam and
No
fire.
way.
Yeah.
So it's like a garden air fryer.
Yeah, a bit like the garden air fryer. Yeah,
That's
it's amazing.
really cool.
I mean,
He's also a good cook.
the chicken took 5 hours to cook. I hope he's not listening to this, but it took so long. We didn't eat until like 11 p.m.
Are you sure you just hadn't had so much wine that it just tasted amazing?
Well, Sarah
You were
passed
starving.
out.
By
Sarah
Typical.
passed out before dinner. She was literally like this.
Typical. Love that.
We went on a boat party this week.
did go on
we had
a
a
boat
party in
party.
Salford Keys.
Oh, Salford Keys.
Great, it just goes up and down the quay.
On the Costa del
The
Keys.
Costa del Keys. I posted a little video, and it literally looked like we were on holiday, and I put Costa del Jamaica.
I love that. Oh, was it good?
It was really fun. The team loved it because it was their graduation. The team absolutely loved it. They graduated their apprenticeship program.
Well done, participants.
Yeah, and it was just nice to see them shine and celebrate their monumentous kind of, finishing of their program. And yeah, it was just
how
nice.
lovely.
And actually, it's nice to see how people have come. You can really notice the difference between the people when they've come through that program, and like that the coaching they've received and the team camaraderie that they've got between them is so nice.
Oh, that is
That
nice.
was lovely. And then what else have I done this week? I went to see Burna Boy.
Oh my gosh, yes. Well, how the hell did I forget
I
that?
can't believe you forgot it.
I also did that, people.
Yeah, I went to see Burna Boy, and I still can't get over the fact that, number one, Burna Boy was incredible, but number two, that my brother...
Oh my
brothers,
gosh.
even not brothers were both on stage at the London Stadium. Like, it just blows my mind.
Do you know what? It was so emotional.
It was emotional. I was like, I said to Seth though, and I said next to my cousin, I was like, do you think that they get nervous? Because I get nervous just going out on stage and
They didn't look
talking.
it.
But they looked so chilled.
Yeah.
And there was
Yeah.
80,000 people
Oh, my
there.
word.
Like 80,000.
Wild. Yeah.
Just fantastic.
Ridiculous.
Yeah,
really,
I was
really
like,
fantastic.
I was nervous for them. I was
Yeah.
like, and I was like, that's my brother, Danny, Olamide, shouting from the stands, and everyone was staring at me like, who the hell is this crazy person?
No.
But yeah, it was really, I was really proud of them. Dami was DJing, Olamide was hosting. They owned the stage, and they were meant to be on for 20 minutes, and they were on for like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And they
Playing some absolute bangers.
yeah. So I was just a very proud older brother sitting there, wiping the tears away, going, why am I not backstage?
I was just about to say, I hope to see you up on stage with them one time.
One day I'll be there going, ah! Yes, that was my week.
It was brilliant. It was a really good concert. Very
was.
emotional.
So, this week, our VIP, who beat the VIP? Who beat the VIP? Our VIP this week is no other than Jo Cole. So Jo Cole is the people director at Turtle Bay, and is passionate about creating and maintaining people first cultures. She believes in fairness and doing the right thing, leading the change with equality and inclusion. Jo is an empathetic, energetic, and fun leader who takes a collaborative approach to her work. I've known Jo for too long. And I am so happy to have you on the podcast, because I feel like you've really been there
Absolutely.
from the beginning of the journey with Cece. So it's so nice to have you.
Thank
Welcome.
you for
Yeah.
having me.
You
Thank
have
for
always
having me.
shown us such great support, and it is very appreciated.
Well, I'm very proud of you both, and I'm glad to be a part of the journey. So thank you, and happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yes. How are you? How's your week been?
Yeah, it's been okay actually. I've had obviously I was with you at the graduations on the boat party, which was amazing to see and very emotional. And again, just like great to see people grow and develop and finish something that's taken quite a long time. And then on a personal note, I've had 2 weekends of birthdays.
Lovely.
She's been out
I
in the lash.
do like
Yeah.
going out and I like celebrating, so I've had a little bit of like recovery time going on. So this is really helping.
Love that.
Oh, amazing. Well, let's jump into our icebreaker. You know how much we love an icebreaker on this
Oh,
what's
what's the icebreaker this
So
week?
the icebreaker this week is if you could only eat one item of food for the rest of your life, what would you eat?
Can it be a meal?
Yeah?
So it would be a roast dinner.
I just say one item, but
Okay, well, if I have to choose out of the item, I think it'd have to be a Yorkshire pudding.
Really?
the rest of your life in Yorkshire on its own.
With a little bit of mustard and some gravy. But just like, as one thing.
That's not an item. It's not an item.
Okay, then a toffee crisp.
A toffee crisp? From a Yorkshire pudding to a toffee crisp?
I didn't know there were rules around this.
That is
what
brilliant.
would yours be?
I think that mine would have to be cheese.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think mine was going to be cheese.
Yeah.
Mine was either cheese or rice.
Yeah, literally, I was thinking cheese or rice.
Yeah, I love
do
rice.
love rice.
I love rice. I feel like I could eat rice every day, so I think I'm going to say rice.
But if cheese was the item, you know, there's so many variety of
Yeah.
cheeses.
Is it a type of
You
cheese?
could switch it up a bit. Because cheese is cheese at the end of the day.
But if you're only allowed one item,
Yeah, but the item is cheese. Whether that be cheddar cheese, brie cheese, camembert cheese, Boursin cheese.
okay, Mrs. G.
It's like a cheese quiz, yeah.
Bloody hell.
Oh, I think I would be really good in a cheese quiz.
Name that cheese.
Okay, so you've got cheese, you've got Yorkshire, and you've got rice. We'd have a great meal.
yes.
We would have a fantastic meal.
That's all that's the 5 a day sorted.
Yeah,
ish.
yeah.
I
Exactly.
think I would really like that.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if rice and cheese in a Yorkshire would be nice, but anyway, let's move on. Let's move on to the word of the street. Let's see what the word on the street. Word on the street.
What's the word on the street?
Word on the street. Word on the street.
Word on the street.
Oh, remix today. I hope you recorded that bit. That was cool. So what have you got for us?
Okay, so
From the man on the ground.
From the man on the ground.
The man on the
comes-
ground needs some extra pay, by the way. He's like asking for more money.
Doesn't
Or at
get
least
any money.
He's asking to actually get some money.
Can you pay him in cake?
I thought you paid him in kind.
I try.
More kind, please. So, this is a little bit of celebratory news for me. It has been a matter of weeks since the last Love Island winners were crowned, but it is once again time to open those villa doors. It is the 10th series.
Wow.
Can you believe it?
The nonsense.
But
The gall.
despite the positive reactions to new host Maya Jama, the show recorded lower audiences and less online commentary than previous series, and that is the celebratory part of this news. I, for one, am pretty happy that viewers are dwindling, because I just think that is one programme that literally swallows people's minds and poisons them to death. Like, honestly, I can't bear Love Island. It is such bullshit, and the people that go on there, that are just so, what's the word I'm looking for? It's just one type of person all of the time.
Is it bad for me to say that they come across a bit brain dead?
No, it's not, because, and I wonder
Hollow.
if it's like because they're being directed so much in the villa, they don't actually really get to be themselves or act out themselves. 'Cause it's just awkward.
I heard that they actually film it at like in the middle of the night.
Yeah,
Like, the night bits that they film are filmed like really late, so they're really tired. So they're
So
they're
weird.
deprived of sleep.
yeah.
Perhaps you
But
should try and get somebody on the podcast that's been
absolutely
in
not.
the villa.
Absolutely not.
We actually witnessed one of those being recorded here
Yeah.
at James's
James
studio.
has a podcast that's recorded here about about.
They're in next. They're in next. That is synchronicity. Hilarious.
Oh my god! So we're gonna have to see one of those people here.
Oh my god! I've literally just spilt blooming champers down
Is
the chin.
there Love Island? They're coming.
Not today.
Oh, thank God. Anyway, the last time we watched it, it was a really interesting conversation. You should go back and listen to the podcast. What's it called?
Reality.
Reality.
Like sipping tea.
Reality.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so look, I for one am quite happy that a lot of society has actually zoned out and tuned out of Love Island.
I think Love Island's a bit it's tone deaf as well. Like it doesn't touch on anything that's going on in the actual real world. Like the conversation. I don't watch it.
Excuse me, babe. Can you come and have a chat by the fire? Want us to have a chat by the fire? Oh, do you want to have a chat by the fire? What?
Watching that because I don't watch it.
I've never watched it, but I've only ever seen clips, and every time I see a clip, I'm literally like, "What?"
When
the
you
hell
see a
is
clip,
this?
it's that.
Yeah.
We have a chat by the fire.
Oh, what about there's a new one, isn't there, with Danny Minogue, which is
Oh my God, I Kissed a Boy!
which I've not seen.
I've watched it all. I can't believe I watched it all because obviously I hate Love Island, and this is just a
And is it the
basically
same? But
Love Island.
basically Love Island for the
Really?
gays, but I'm always rooting for the gays. I actually watched it, and Sean would not watch it with me. He was point blank said, "This is what's wrong with society.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be watching things like this." However,
I bet it had way more comedy in it.
they actually touched on a lot of issues that a lot of gay people struggle with in dating, in coming out. You know, one of the guys had cancer. Like, they talk about actual real shit.
Well, that's better.
And I was like, it's completely different to Love Island. Love Island doesn't talk about actually what's going on in people's lives. They touch on mental health. They touch on depression. And I was like, this is actually real.
Yeah. And is it as polished as Love Island?
No. Because the
Polished,
first ever
that's a good
one,
word.
it is polished. It is clean. It is nice to watch, but it's not as. It doesn't feel as polished as Love Island because it's obviously just started. But they've announced they're going to do I Kissed a Girl.
Oh. Oh.
I mean, I wonder when. And if they're looking for an older, more mature
That was the only
contestant.
The only thing I would say is that they didn't have any older people on it, which would have been nice to see a bit of a mixture of age. It was all like young 20-year-olds. It would have been nicer to see 30 plus, 40 plus.
They've got all sorts of stuff on TV at the moment. My mum was telling me that there's this program where couples go on who want to experiment, and they start having orgies and stuff with each other on TV.
I think I've seen that before.
I can't remember what it's called, but yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah.
I need to get watching telly.
There's all sorts of stuff going on
There is a lot
TV.
on TV for different types of people, which I do love. But yeah, I also saw, just before we finish off Love Island, I did see another article about Love Island and the fact that they have now brought on...
the people explaining how they look for people who are blind or visually impaired.
Yeah, so they now describe, I saw a snippet of it on the TikTok, and it was like, a black man has entered the room. I was like, this is jokes. But I think that's them trying to appeal to a different audience, which I kind of was like, I take my hat off.
Well, yeah, because they bloody need to now, don't they?
Yeah, but I take my hat off to them for trying to do something different and actually trying to be a bit more inclusive.
No, yeah, fair enough.
And I actually have noticed as well that there's a lot more diversity in the actual contestants. Yeah. Which is nice.
I don't know. There's a lot of argument about that in amongst youngsters today, that they'll have the tick box, like one black girl, one black boy, one Asian person. That's. Yeah.
But when they started, it was just white people, I'm sure, wasn't it?
Yeah, I know, but it's different when it comes across genuine and then it comes
genuine.
across as
The
tick
whole
box.
programme is not about genuinity. Genuinity, is that a word?
Yeah, genuinity. Oh gosh,
if not, let's make
Wednesday. Yeah, literally, it is so far from that. It's unbelievable.
Anyway, my news goes back to the amazing concert that I went to. Can I just say that I know that a couple of episodes ago, season 1, talked about Burna Boy and how he has made some errors in his ways, and I just want to say that he hasn't apologized. Okay, so me going to the concert, I'm just saying, wasn't the best decision, but I did it anyway, taking ownership for my behaviour.
If you actually have a listen to Burna Boy's lyrics properly, and obviously sometimes you have to study them because he speaks a lot of Yoruba
and broken English and patois and all sorts.
Even Cockney slang, Cockney rhyming slang, Bobby China. Yeah. So if you actually listen to his lyrics and stuff, he puts out so much good messaging. And as you said before, people do make mistakes. And that song was like 5-6 years ago.
It was, yeah.
I don't really know why it even resurfaced, to be honest, so recently. Not really sure why.
Because, you know, people are always trying to drag people.
But if you listen to his lyrics, he puts out some really good messaging about, you know, how we all need to live harmoniously together. And I'm here for that.
Yeah, and I did notice that he had a really attractive member of the LGBTQ+ community on stage.
Oh, yeah, he got showed quite a lot, didn't he?
He did. Remember the cameraman was obsessed with him. And I was like, I'm here for it.
He was serving face and body.
Yeah, he was so hot. I was like, bloody hell. I tried to find him on Instagram.
Stop it! Oh, my God.
Anyway, back to my news. So what I'm bringing on the news today on Word on the Street is that Burna Boy made history at the weekend when he became the first African artist to headline a stadium in the UK.
Woo-woo!
And he sold out. The London Stadium. So he didn't disappoint. He did a 2-hour set, although it wasn't really 2 hours, I don't think. He brought out some famous friends. He brought out Stormzy, Dave, Jay Huss. It was a sick performance. Like, there was so much energy in the stadium. I love the part where he stops singing and then people are singing back to him, and the whole crowd has got their lights on and it's like singing his song back to him. And it was Oh, yeah.
That one's for you, Burna.
If you're listening, I'll get Dammy to send it to him. I just can't believe I haven't met the guy.
I know.
It literally, to this day, it shocks me. I'm like, I need to meet him.
It is a bit odd.
It is odd.
Do you know what? I heard a really lovely statement on the radio the other day as well. I've never listened to the radio, but they were playing Location, yeah. And the radio presenter was like, I bet when they recorded this, they didn't know that this was going to be like one of the ultimate like summer songs, is going to be replayed over and over for the next 10 to 15 years as an absolute, summer anthem. And I was like, oh, it absolutely is. And like, what an achievement.
It's such a huge achievement, and it's so nice to see Afro beats and Afro music coming mainstream and being more westernised. And it was nice to see an eclectic bunch of people at the show, although some of them didn't know any of the words to any of the original music. But it was still like, you know, cool, we're inclusive, let's have you all here.
We're not holding any grudges.
We're not holding any grudges.
That's the main thing.
They're there. Anyway, well done to you, Burna Boy, and the team at Burna Boy at Spaceship, what's it called?
Spaceship Billy.
No, that's Dammy.
Oh, I thought it was praising Dammy.
No, it's praising Burna Boy and his team.
Let's praise all of them.
Spaceship.
It's called Spaceship. Yeah, Burna Boy and the Spaceship team, well done. Grammy Award winner, you are killing it. We are proud. So, do you have any word on the street, Joe?
No, I mean, if we're talking London Stadium, are we talking West Ham Stadium?
We are talking West Ham.
Oh my goodness, yes,
Stadium.
it
is.
So, I am a Hammer. I am a West Ham fan. And I don't know whether you noticed this week, but West Ham did win their first title for, I mean, I don't know how many years, obviously, since I've been alive, because I'm only young. And they won the Europa Conference League Cup.
Wow.
And actually, I'm a bit of a fair weather fan, so I don't go that often. However, obviously I was crying and very emotional. And it was lovely to see. And actually I watched all the celebrations in Stratford on the news last night. And it looked like super fun.
Wow, where was the game? It was
in Prague.
In Prague.
The final was in Prague. The only thing that was a bit frustrating was there was some violence.
There was a lot of violence.
Someone threw, I don't know, a cup or something into one of the Fiorentina's players, hit him on the head, obviously caused an injury, and you're just like, oh.
You always get a bad egg.
Have we not moved on from that? But
no, some people just bad eggs.
Football violence is still a thing, though, isn't it? It's just so weird.
Sadly, yes.
Well, I thought they weren't allowed to drink in the stadium anymore, like inside when you're watching the game.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, I mean,
a lot of. I'm sure. I mean, I haven't.
You are
been,
right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they banned
this
drinking.
was like a plastic cup thing.
Oh.
I mean, it did damage. The guy cut his head. I mean, it was pretty.
Really?
There must have been some force.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was a bit like, but yes. So West
The
Ham
win.
I've won a trophy.
Well
I'll tell you
done.
something funny about West Ham. Well, not about West Ham. My sister is also a West Ham fan, avid. So much so that when she was 16, she got the hammers tattooed on her
Fantastic.
tummy. It says West Ham United.
Gosh, that is a proper
What?
fan.
Are you serious?
I-
Why have
no.
I never seen that?
I don't know. She generally
She
doesn't wear
doesn't
belly
really do-
tops,
no.
but she
Generally doesn't, no.
no, but yeah.
That must look great now she's had loads of kids.
Oh, it's not that. It's fine. My sister's actually done well with the kids situation.
She's got so many. God.
I know. Her tits are still up here.
Anyway, we digress. We digress. Oh, thank you anyway. That was good word on the street. Some very positive news to share today.
Yeah, lovely news.
We're all thinking very positive today.
Lots of celebrations.
Because it's your birthday, Noel. Keep it pause. So let's get into talking to our VIP. First question. Tell us about yourself, Joe. Who are you? Who is Joe? Tell us about your journey. How did you get to become a people director?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm Joe, as you know, Joe Cole. Not named after the old West Ham footballer, but there is a West Ham footballer called Joe Cole.
No way.
Fun fact. So I started my career in hospitality as a chef, or as a Saturday. Used to do a Saturday job, and then trained as a chef. Did an apprenticeship. Because a man told me that a woman shouldn't be a chef in a kitchen, only a cook. So I dropped out of school and then trained, and that's...
What is the difference between a chef and a cook?
Big difference.
Well, I mean, we were talking 1990 or something, yeah.
There is actually a bit of a difference, because I remember when Jamie Oliver was hitting on the scene, I remember doing some work with Gordon Ramsay, and Gordon Ramsay used to say that Jamie Oliver is not a chef, he is a cook.
I think it stems from like a chef is professional, and a cook is either somebody that's in the home or serving in a... I don't know this,
right,
but serving in a establishment rather than an actual chef.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Got it.
So
something new every day.
I did that, and then I moved around, became a head chef, then went front of house. So I was in restaurants and bars from a young age.
What was the first restaurant you worked in?
I was actually a golf club.
Oh, was
it? It was a golf club. It was a private members golf club in Essex.
Yeah, I always forget you're an Essex bird.
Yeah. You wouldn't know now with my posh voice. Romford Golf Club, and I was head chef there for about 3 or 4 years.
Oh, wow.
And we had a bar that was for men only. That's how old it was.
No way.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
I remember that.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Is it still like that?
I don't know. I would imagine not.
Okay.
But it was very much like that. And so I did head chefing, then I did front of house, went to become a manager. I got into openings, doing sort of running around the country doing NSOs and stuff like that. And started to do training. And basically, like life sometimes just opens doors and you end up kind of just...
falling into things.
Yeah, I guess so. And a path sort of...
Made its way.
And then I sort of was like, do you know what? I never went to uni. I never left school and went to uni. So I had this big thing on my shoulder about, like, you have to go to university because you can't be a real professional if you haven't been to uni.
Yeah.
So I studied while I was working and got my master's in HR.
Oh,
and then,
okay.
Yeah. So I was doing training and recruitment and personnel, I think we called it back in the day.
Yeah, personnel. Yeah.
God, I talk like I'm about 100. I'm not, folks, I promise you. I'm 30-something. Yeah, and then head of people over at Gourmet Burger Kitchen, where I met you.
Where you met the wonderful me.
Whatever year that was.
5 years ago.
Was that 5 years ago?
It was 5 years ago when me and Kaylee were calculating the other day.
Gosh.
You met me at my low.
Oh,
Joe was so concerned about me. She said, you don't have to start. Because when I split up with my ex and the wedding was cancelled, and she was like, you don't have to start yet. If you don't want to start yet, you can have some time. You were so sweet to me.
I don't know if you ever mentioned that on the podcast before.
What?
The cancelled wedding.
I have.
Oh, have you?
I don't know. Why should I not?
No, definitely should.
Yeah,
I was jilted at the altar, everyone.
That was a favourite line for a while.
That was, wasn't
Jilted at
it?
the
That's
altar.
literally what I said to everyone. Anyway.
Oh, but yeah, I remember your interview actually, and I just the positivity that came from you and the energy, and we just connected.
I can't believe that I got the job. I
just
honestly, to this
connected.
point, still don't believe it.
Yeah.
Because I was so miserable.
You weren't. I mean, you may have thought you were, but you didn't come across like that. You were, to me, you were a complete breath of fresh air, and you'd done your research.
how
You knew what you were
lovely.
talking about, and I think I needed to work with someone that I could trust. For me, it's all about the having the right team. Like you said, I'm a collaborator. I want to work with the right people that have got the same passion, the same energy. It doesn't even really matter if people have got the right skill set. If they've got the energy and they want to do well, then
because you can teach people.
You can teach people, and you learn together.
Yeah, exactly. Love that.
And then Ology Day started, and then I think I resigned about
She was like, fuck this, why did I hire him?
Yeah, literally. You took me to one side and you're like,
I felt so guilty.
Sorry, but I'm going to have to tell you that I am leaving. And I was like, I only came to work here because of you. Because you don't go and work somewhere because of the brand. You go and work there somewhere because you buy into the person that's going to manage you. Yeah. And I bought into Jo because she was going to mentor me and guide me, I guess, in that role. And then she ditched me. And it all went tits up from there.
The whole brand went down.
Indeed, it did.
It literally did. It went tits up.
That is not a lie.
Left us with like the weirdest manager. Anyway, won't go into that.
So I left. When I left GBK, I needed to see the CVA through. Actually, I stayed on probably longer than.
What's
I
the
should have.
CVA?
Basically.
Now I can't think of the right words.
What does it stand for?
Voluntary something.
Is it like your notice?
It's when a company folds.
Yeah.
And,
right.
I don't know why I've gone completely blank.
CVA.
Are you Googling it?
I'm Googling.
Something voluntary arrangement. Company voluntary arrangement, maybe? Something like that. So basically, we had to close down quite a lot of the restaurants and sadly make quite a lot of people redundant.
Corporate voluntary arrangement.
Yeah.
That's it. But anyway, so I stayed till we saw that through, and then I was like, I'm just going to go and do sort of consulting for a little bit and have a bit of a break. And I went to Turtle Bay as a consultant, and I was like, I'll be here for 6 months. And very quickly, I saw the opportunity within, the people area of the business, and I just fell in love with the opportunity. I fell in love with the talent within the teams, and I think I saw what it could be like. Yeah, it wasn't quite where it should have been at that point.
So the potential.
And then I saw the potential, and then I got offered the head of people role, and I was like, okay then, and here we are, 4.5 years later, but with some special people working in the team.
Yeah,
so I came back to get it.
She did.
She dragged us all. We've got me, Kaylee, ex-GBKers, and Sophie was there. Yeah.
What a lovely thing to be able to do, though, to be able to go somewhere and then actually build your team from the people that you've met previously and have the opportunity to do that.
That's the dream. I want to do that.
That's really nice.
You definitely, along your career, you meet people that are like incredibly great at their job, but also just like inspiring to work along.
And you click with.
Yeah.
And I think that's, I was thinking about this week. I think it's really powerful when you've got that as a team.
Yeah.
So, like particularly at the moment, myself, Olajide, Tom, our sort of head of L&D, and Kaylee, who's our senior people partner, we've got a really, I don't know, I need to work with people that I trust.
Yeah.
Because then I can relax and try and drive what I want, because I know that I've got the right people with me,
Yeah.
And I trust these guys 100%, and that doesn't just come just like that, It's like taking time.
It is really nice. I love it when we have our little meetings.
Yeah, it's a really, and I think the thing is, you've got the same vision. You want to achieve the right thing for the people, which I think, ultimately, and it's not just a cliche thing. I think,
No, you have to have that, a shared vision.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So talk to us about, I guess, how your identity has influenced your career path or like your experiences along the way.
Yeah, so
which part of your
which part of your
identity?
Well, I am leaving it open.
Who am I?
I'm leaving it open for you. I'm not going
open for interpretation.
Open for interpretation. I'm not. No labels.
I think that's fair. So I guess from a career perspective, the fact of being a woman was and being told that at a very young age kick-started me moving into hospitality.
Yeah,
because for right or wrong, my mum never really educated me around the fact that there was a difference between, that women may have to, work harder and that their place wasn't equal. Like, I didn't know that until I was older.
Yeah.
So I think identifying that was definitely something that was kick-started me moving into hospitality. I think the fact that I'm a gay woman, I guess, and we were talking about this earlier, weren't we? I guess the fact that my personal coming out story took such a long time because I was from quite a homophobic and racist kind of area, family.
Right.
I had to move away. I had to find myself in, Brighton. And I think because that took such energy that by the time I'd sort of come out at 28...
28.
Yeah.
She was later than me.
So I was quite late, and I had quite a long time of, just basically just pretending. For sort of, I don't know, maybe 10 years or so.
And that is taking a lot of energy away from you, doing that.
Yeah. And actually, the fact that at that point, I think I was running a restaurant in Brighton, and the team I was so nervous about telling the team in Brighton, about my sexuality. And they basically were so loving and trusting that I sort of then I felt accepted. So maybe then I sort of felt that hospitality would keep me protected. Maybe at restaurant level.
Yeah,
I think then when you start to become more senior. I think then there are challenges around whether you are openly out.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I don't hide the fact that I'm a woman, but I didn't always go in the room. I wear a sort of a rainbow heart in my ear like this, and sometimes I subtly sort of, do that. But I guess it defines you as in. I guess it's defined me as in I've maybe behaved in certain ways at times to either hide it or to exaggerate it. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, really.
No, but I think you have to sometimes you switch it up, don't you, depending on the audience, because especially when you get to a senior position. I guess for you, it's like you don't have to go into a meeting and be the raging lesbian. You can just be Joe, and doesn't need to have any labels. And actually, you can then flip it. And actually, if there's an opportunity where you need to wave the rainbow flag, then you'll do that, and you'll kind of champion those people when needed.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think one of the things that I have noticed, especially at Turtle Bay, is actually that need of representation, and sometimes because of that, you then have to speak about the fact that you are from the community. Because I mean, if you think about some of the teams in the restaurants, they don't know enough about like people in support centre, so they don't know that there is representation from an LGBT in a director role in the business. So sometimes you need to like wave that flag just to.
Yeah, and I think that's fair. And I mean, again, me. I'm not someone that is. I'm not a big me type person. I find that but
she hates it.
I think I do think actually being in a senior position you have that responsibility. You have to be more out there and influencing and championing whatever area it is. So I think you're right. I think.
Can you? Because you just spoke about like some challenges faced, but can you think of any specific sort of challenges you face by being from the LGBTQ+IA community? That is such a mouthful these days.
I knew you were going to say that.
It just really is. But can you think of any specific challenges that you've come up against being a senior leader that are to do with being in that space that you've kind of overcame at the same time?
I think probably more from being a female leader. I guess I don't know. Maybe behind closed doors there may be stuff that's said about me being gay, but I guess it's more. I've experienced more the fact that I'm a female leader in a real male dominated arena, and that's just hospitality. It's not, it's not Turtle Bay per se. It's hospitality, as we know. The stats tell us this. I guess the stuff that has left a sort of a bitter taste in my mouth is the sort of the sort of commentary or silly things that people say sometimes. And I've got I deal with it, and I don't let it outwardly affect me, which I think sometimes perhaps or show that it affects me, but I think sometimes I should. But comments, it's a waste, or I can turn you, darling, or that sort of stuff. It's still people still say it.
Oh God, that actually makes my skin crawl.
Yeah, and I guess people say it less now, maybe because I'm older, but
where the comments at.
But that sort of stuff still goes on, or I feel comfortable chatting you up. Well, you shouldn't. So outwardly, I haven't experienced specifically something that stopped me, but I don't know if that's happened behind closed doors.
Do you feel like now, still being a female leader, do you feel like now that you don't care as much, that that it's a bit harder for females, or do you think that it still sits with you, or it's had a huge impact on the way that you kind of navigate yourself in your role, because there's this sort of outlook that women can't do the jobs that men can do?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's definitely. I'd say I'm more aware of it and have learnt techniques how to not let it always affect. But it definitely has and does still affect me.
Because it must have had an effect on your confidence over the years.
Yeah, absolutely. And even, and it sounds silly when I say this, but even things like when you are in a meeting and you are presenting to all men.
Yeah.
Sometimes if voices are raised, or somebody, it's quite easy for someone to make themselves feel more powerful or strong than you. That type of stuff just triggers something in me, and maybe that's from way back when, but it's a bit triggering, so I have to manage and through having mentors and people that have career coaches and stuff throughout my career, they've taught me, you learn techniques, you learn ways of how to sit, you learn ways,
Really?
So like body language and sort of breathing.
That explains why you sit in certain ways.
Standing up, holding in your shoulders.
She does sometimes sit there like that.
But there's stuff, tips like this, because it's about just
opening up,
and mirroring some of the. It's like when you're not feeling confident, sometimes you do this, don't you? And therefore you're closing in, you're closing everything in, so therefore you have got even less air. So actually being more.
And you look vulnerable and timid,
Yeah, and I think there's probably an opportunity for female leaders, or for they don't even have to be female, to help and share these tips a lot more with young women coming up the ranks. Actually,
100%.
Absolutely.
I don't think you don't learn that anywhere, do you? About how to hold yourself, how to make sure you communicate properly, how to own a room without owning a room. Do you know what I mean? And shouting and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot more literature and podcasts and things around now that weren't around, I guess, when I was probably in my early 20s. But like you say, it's not that stuff doesn't just come to you.
No.
So no, exactly.
What advice or tips would you give other women, I guess, who are aspiring to be leaders, especially in the hospitality sector?
Yeah, I think I was initially thinking, around surrounding yourself with like-minded people, but that's not always easy, because if you're not somebody that is comfortable going out networking, or you're a bit, shy, or you're busy, or you've got another, whatever it may be, that's not always easy. So if you can have someone within your network that you can talk to and bounce ideas off of, and I think also read, listen to podcasts. I would strongly advise to get a mentor if you can. I think mentoring
100%
absolutely is, it opens the doors and it accesses so many things, even if you have to try different mentors. And I think you're not going to, make sure what you want to change. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So, small goals. And I know it's a bit cliche, but it's true. Small goals, achieve something that will build your confidence,
Yeah.
then you go after something else. You may still get to the end goal eventually,
but
don't go for that if it's too far out, too far away.
Yeah.
We need to listen to that advice.
I know.
Small goals.
I think all
Achievable,
of us do, though. And I think
realistic
if you're
goals.
passionate about something,
Yeah.
it's difficult,
Yeah,
right?
it's so
Yeah,
hard.
absolutely.
You get excited. It's
I
like,
get
you know.
I get super excited. I mean, I go for the.
We're literally tripping over all the time.
Joe's always at work telling me just
Yeah.
think a bit smaller. Just do the small stuff first, and then I'm always trying to go for the big stuff. The big stuff's always more shiny.
Yeah.
Always more shiny.
But you'll get to the big stuff.
Yeah.
What would you say? How would you recommend people go about getting a mentor? Because a lot of people, I think, don't actually really know how to get a mentor. Because it can be all sorts of people. It doesn't have to be like, you know, senior people. It can be peers. It can be, you know. What's your recommendations?
I mean, I guess I've been lucky because I've had bosses that have that have identified that I would benefit from mentoring. So I've always been connected to somebody or asked the question. I guess if you are, I mean, we're just doing an initiative now at Turtle Bay where we are working with Otello to provide us some mentors within the industry to mentor 20 of our team. It's a pilot really, I guess.
Yeah.
So that gives access to 20 people. But again, we've done that.
Yeah.
I think LinkedIn is a great place to contact and reach
100%.
out to somebody.
Yeah.
I think if you just ask the question,
Yeah.
a lot of the time, a lot of people are actually flattered
Yes.
that you've asked them to be to mentor to be mentored by them.
Definitely.
And I also think that I don't know. What do you think about it? Because I don't know. Does mentoring have to be labelled as mentoring for it to be mentoring? Because I always think that the last 5 years, I would say you have definitely mentored me. Like you've helped me. I come to you for advice. I talk to you about CC all the time. And you've guided us and guided me. And I think, but we haven't officially said that you're mentoring me. Do you know what I mean? So actually, mentoring doesn't always necessarily have to be labelled as mentoring and be structured for it to be that relationship. No,
definitely not. It doesn't. But if you are seeking a mentor who you don't know, then the best thing to do is actually work out what it is that you want from the mentor. What kind of industry you want your mentor to be in, and because you want to learn about that industry or department or whatever. Let's say you want to learn, you're doing a CIPD course and you want a mentor from HR, and then actually find the industry that you want it from. And as Joe said, search on LinkedIn, look for the right kind of people. And then, as Olajide said, most people are actually really flattered, whether you know them or not. Just contact them, be very honest, and be like, I'm looking for a mentor because these are the points that I want to learn about.
Yeah.
I've seen your career history, la 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 la. Would you be interested in, you know, an hour's phone call or half an hour phone call once a month, check in?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think a lot of people are flattered and they want to do it. I think and a lot of my mentoring from people has come in the very go for a pint and have a, you know, or a glass of wine and just have a chat, or, you know, people that have just always been there throughout my career. But I've also had sort of structured mentoring, whereas I want to get to this position. How can I do that?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's really, really beneficial.
Definitely.
And so I would say, obviously, I know a lot about what happens at Turtle Bay, but I think some of our listeners might be interested. The C Society, but in your role as people director, how do you support and empower, I guess, individuals from marginalised communities within the business?
Yeah, well, we've sort of, again, it's been a journey for us, because when I got to Turtle Bay, there wasn't a specific strategy around E&I or a people strategy for that matter, and obviously we then went into COVID, so things were quite different. So then the first thing was we identified, I guess, what we wanted to change and also what our people were telling us. We did lots of surveys and talking to the teams, and one thing that's amazing particularly with our team is that they will tell us when things are going well, when things are not going well, and what we need to do to improve it. And I think even the appointment of your position, putting in an E&I partner into the business shows the team that we're serious about what we do.
Yeah.
So I would say that's probably was the first step.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing is as well is that if your senior team and your leaders, and we've talked about this before, are not on board, you can have all the initiatives in the world, but it's just going to be lip service.
Yeah.
And we're really lucky because both Ajit, the founder, and Nick, our CEO, are incredibly passionate about E&I, and so are the board.
Yeah.
And I guess some of the initiatives that I think I'm particularly proud of. I mean, we've got a living and breathing E&I team, which is a group of we've just re-recruited, haven't we?
Yeah, 8
re-recruited
people.
8 people from within the business in different roles, different backgrounds that would not have access to talking to Olajide or the leaders or bringing their ideas to the table. So I think that's something that I'm proud of. The mentoring, again, is about giving opportunity and voice to people to have access to mentors. And I guess the last couple of years have mainly, I guess I've talked about this slightly the wrong way around, but I guess the last couple of years have mainly been about culture and education.
Yeah.
Almost like laying the foundations.
Yeah.
And now it's about actually making a difference.
Yeah.
So, we did a lot of training. I can't even think of everything we did, but the last couple of years have been a lot of...
It's like 4 modules, 4 different workshops that we've just embedded into the business, really, isn't it?
A lot of training, a lot of honest conversations.
Yeah.
Quite some difficult conversations.
Yeah.
Some frustrating conversations.
And also a lot of like shifting in people's mindset and the way that they view this work. Like, that rather than viewing it as, oh my God, we have to do E&I training. It's more like, well, actually, we want you to want to do E&I training. You want you to be asking for specific bits of training because you are eager to make sure that you're continuously talking about this and embedding this in your own restaurants and stuff like that. Yeah.
I think that's, I guess, I think people generally are on a spectrum, aren't they, with sort of E&I?
Absolutely.
You've got some people that are just like, I don't know anything about it. I'm not interested. You've
Yeah.
got people in the middle that are quite curious. They want to make change. They don't want to do anything wrong.
Yeah.
And then you've got people that are real like, you're
activists.
I just understand.
Yeah.
I know what I want to do.
Yeah.
I know how I need to do it. And it's about making sure that the training, the strategy is sort of focusing on each.
Suits everybody.
Yes. Yeah. Although this group, you may just not be able to change. And I think you have to sort of.
You have to leave them. You have to leave them.
Well, yeah.
Because I think we talk about this a lot, don't we? About how if you focus all your energy in trying to change the people that are literally over here that don't want to change, you then sometimes don't give the people that are the activists and the people in the middle enough time and the energy to get them to the activism point. And so you don't want to waste. It's not wasting time, but you don't want to spend too much time trying to change people's minds, because I think when the majority have changed their mind and they are activists, those people will eventually go, well, we're left behind.
Yeah, and also this lot will just get frustrated because they're like, we need to see change.
Yeah.
You're talking about it, but we need to see change.
Yeah. I also think one of the things that, sorry if you don't mind me saying, one of the things that I think Turtle Bay has done really well is with the culture is the way that it's embedded the well-being and the E&I together, and it's kind of really moulded itself to be one. And I think that's been really beneficial because it all has such a huge impact on each other. And some of the work that we've done with, even like things that we started off with the safety kits, the Surfing on the Safe Side kits, and like the wellbeing champions, the mental health training, it's all just really fed into that whole culture of we're people first.
Yes,
like people are important to us.
There has been so many initiatives that you have actually done over the past few years that you just don't hear or see anyone else doing.
No, and I think we were talking this week actually. We're like, right, how do we I wouldn't say like redo stuff, but how do you
put a new log on the fire?
Yeah, how do
That's
you
what Nick
keep
said.
things sort of ticking over and front and centre of people's mind? Because like you say, we've done a lot of stuff around mental health first aid with Harry Corrin,
keep it
and
fresh,
guys, and our wellbeing champions and safety kits and E&I training. But actually, you still got employee turnover, so you've still got people leaving, and the business still has to operate. So things, I wouldn't say either until cultural change happens, and it happens over a period of time. You have to keep on talking about things.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then it just gets embedded into the everyday, because it's not like so it's not like we'll have like E&I training. When I think in my head in the future, E&I training won't be E&I training. It would just be training. It would be embedded into, you know, like we're trying to do at the moment. Are, you know, all our MITs are going to be going through the training. So when a new starter starts, this is our values and this is our culture. And this is all the training you have to do, and it's already
it'll be like the health and safety training and all of that stuff. Compliance.
Yeah. But I also, I guess the other thing is that I think that the generation now, you know, when they're looking for jobs, that stuff is important to them as well. It's not, you know, it's like the ethics of a business, how they treat their people. Do you have an E&I strategy? You know, do you have a sustainability strategy? This stuff is now really, really important. For the team.
I have actually got a question for you that I don't think I discussed with you prior. because it comes up so much.
Hot off the press.
So many of our clients. People always want to know, how do you measure success? People always ask that question, and I'd like to see, because obviously we can see that we can see the work is paying off and it's doing stuff, but it's very difficult to measure. And I think a lot of people out there always want to see, well, how, if we're investing, say, said money, how do we see the return on investment?
Yeah, I think, I mean, yeah, we've talked about this. I think I've talked about this with both of you as well, you know, before you even started working with us. So, so if your CEO or your board are going to need some persuading, because obviously return on investment needs to be measured. I guess it depends on what it is you are trying to improve, and I think a team of leaders should know that, right?
Yeah.
So for me, yes,
should be in the keyword.
Should be in the keyword. Yeah. So for me, it was definitely a cultural thing, and I guess I felt that, and I can see that because people were leaving. You could see that in turnover.
Yeah.
I could see that there were, you know, or you just sort of hear of cases or things going on in certain restaurants. Representation, you know, at senior level for us, representation is a big focus for us now, because, you know, but actually we didn't start off with that goal.
No.
It changed. You have to get the culture right to being able to ensure we can have an equitable and fair place for people to work. So, yeah, I think you have to probably agree some stats at the beginning, and enable that to be able to change. And that might be ER complaints. It might be questions on an engagement survey.
So you're kind of goal setting with your measurables.
Yeah, but I think you have to refresh them, because I think they will change.
Will they organically evolve? Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. But it's again, this is it's not going to be an overnight.
It's a journey, people.
Yeah, you know.
That's what we always say. It's a journey.
And I always think that people think that, because, so like, we have a lot of clients that always say that, you know, these are the scenarios that we've had, and they kind of they come into the journey with the idea that these are the scenarios they've had to deal with. They'll get us in to come in, and they will kind of expect us to fix those scenarios.
There and then.
And I think that's probably the wrong mindset, because actually the goal needs to be bigger than just those scenarios, because those scenarios have led from a place, and it's led from a place of probably on education or culture or whatever. And actually I'm starting to really see this it's happening quite a lot now, isn't it? Where
it's a trend
where people are really like, this is the scenarios that happened. Can you fix it? Can you do?
Do you know what it is though? I think it's because it's panic. Because people are panicking and they're like, this has happened and we need to fix it, and that's it. And then we can breathe. And
all they're coming in, and they have no idea what they want, and then you kind of give them the direction, and then they come back and they're like, yeah, cool, you can do that, you do that, and then they come back to you after the feedback, which is, you didn't fix the scenarios, you didn't fix the problem. And we're like, we didn't come in with, do you know what I mean? It's all very, I'm finding people are coming in without a clue.
Yeah, so I think that's really good advice, actually. Set some goals with what you actually want. Define where you want to take your journey before you embark on it.
Yeah, but I also think as well, your teams will tell you.
That's what I always say.
If they trust you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So their lies, the
Yeah.
sort of
Yeah.
the sort of whatever that saying is, chicken and egg sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because actually, if your culture isn't, if people don't feel safe and included within your organisation, they're not going to be honest.
Yeah.
Which I think was probably, I've had examples of that before in my career where you don't quite get the truth.
Yeah.
When you get the truth, you've then got to be able to listen to it, no matter how hard it is.
Yeah.
And even if you go, no, I've done that differently.
Yeah.
And then act on it if you
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
And then keep communicating with your teams.
Yeah.
Because that's what will build that trust.
'cause that-
is
absolutely.
taking
Yeah.
the action on what you've heard.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So moving into like your well-being, because obviously we love to talk about
My
well-being.
well-being.
Balancing professional and personal life can be challenging, especially as a senior leader. How do you manage and maintain a healthy work-life integration? She doesn't.
Well,
She doesn't.
I actually think I'm much better than I used to be.
Yeah, I mean, you've improved. You definitely improved.
Mainly because I've got such an amazing team.
You've got a huge team.
So I actually, for me, some simple things really is knowing when I do my best work. So I'm much more, my output is better in the morning. So if I've got like big projects or things to work on, do it when I wake up.
Yeah.
Thing. Try and run 3 or 4 times a week.
Yeah.
That is another sort of thing. Sleep more. Sadly, I can't do everything I used to be able to do. I do have to say no
To some of that partying.
to some of that party. I'm a party girl at heart.
She is a raver.
All the Geminis love a party.
So yeah, I think
She's not a Gemini.
Oh no, your mum is.
Well,
Sagittarius.
and she loves a party.
Does
as well.
she?
That's where I got it from.
No, she's
yeah.
a Saggy.
Yeah.
She's a Saggy.
No, I think the key is balance, and I think the key is like knowing yourself. So listening to when you're feeling tired, or listening to if your mental health is not okay, or you're struggling with something, is to be able to step back and give yourself a bit of space. And I think I've got better at that.
Yeah.
But you do have to be disciplined.
Yeah. What do you do to like?
Do you feel like that's because you trust your team more now, because you've built a team that you feel that you can trust?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, as well. I'm 4.5 years into Turtle Bay, so I guess there's systems are in place, the processes are in place. The team. We know we are beginning
It's
to
functioning
hopefully
more.
be like
Works
a well-oiled.
like clockwork.
Yeah.
It does work like clockwork.
So I guess that helps. But I do also think, well, actually, if I went somewhere else and I started a different job, I would be very strict around. I don't want to go back to the old Joe, because the old Joe worked too much.
Yeah.
And there wasn't a balance.
No.
It's so important.
And your Charlie wouldn't have it.
She wouldn't have it. No, not at all.
So in your experience, how have you seen the hospitality industry evolve, I guess, over the years, especially around the DEI space? We're constantly banging the drum about representation, I think, in hospitality. But have you seen a change in the last decade or decades?
Improvements.
I do. I think the conversation is being had.
Yeah.
I do feel like hospitality is behind other sectors. I don't know if you find that with the CISU work, but I do find we might be a little bit behind. But the conversations are definitely happening. I think that the workspaces feel more inclusive. When I go into businesses or to restaurants and stuff like that, it feels much more, people are included and teams are much more diverse. So that feels, I think, around the top table, there's still a lot of work to be done.
Yeah.
Because you've still got a generation, perhaps, and maybe that's unfair, of people that don't all necessarily understand it or want to. I think as an industry, we still need to do a lot more, though.
I think that's one of the big problems, isn't it? The age demographic, because you've got a lot of senior leaders, a specific generation who are making all the decisions for the people on the ground who are, a couple of generations younger.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And to bridge that gap is a hard feat. Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, you can't motivate you can't motivate someone in their 20s the same way that you used to be able to motivate someone in their 20s 20 years ago.
Absolutely not.
Things have changed. You can't have the same conversations the same way. And I think that you're right. I think there's a sort of I'm actually going to do some work with our ops managers around like managing multi-generational workforces and Gen Z and stuff. But
that's great.
It's going to be brilliant because I'm going to learn loads, myself as well.
That sounds wicked.
Are you going to get someone from those generations to like help and be part of it and stuff?
Yeah, well, I think because we're going to do some peer-to-peer or reverse mentoring, I guess as it's known, with people from our teams mentoring the senior leadership team that's kicking off in the next few months. So we'll definitely take from those teams, like get some great ideas and
please
guidance.
People take note of that, because that is such an important piece of work and not enough businesses do things like that. Reverse mentoring is so important.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, actually. I'm really looking forward to it. But I think if we want to be the best employer, retain top talent, do all of those things, and we can only do that if we understand how to do that.
Yeah.
100%. Mic drop.
So true. So true. Right. Got one quick rapid fire question for you. Hit it, Louisa.
What's your favourite part of your job as people director?
Dancing with the teams. No. Do you know what? I think, there's lots of it. I think watching people grow in confidence has got to be my favourite part of the job. Being out and about in the restaurants, 100%. But also partying. I do like going for Does anyone know? A little drink, a little sherry.
A little sherry? Stop it!
I've never seen you have a sherry. She has a pint.
I have a sherry at Christmas, dear.
Sherry at the Christmas party.
What would you like to drink, Jay? I have a pint of Red Stripe.
Pint of Red Stripe.
Pint of Red Stripe.
I should have a little bottle of Red Stripe.
I love that. Pint of Red Stripe. Wicked.
Oh, great. Oh, I love that. That was such a nice little conversation. So now we're going to go into the section of our podcast that I love. And I always feel like Louisa's like, I don't know if I like these questions.
I do like them. There's just one that I find I've got a bit of a, I don't know, like a grudge against, just because I think that no one really understands it.
So we do quick fire questions, and we're gonna ask you some questions. Just I'll say the first thing that comes to your mind.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, well. Am I allowed to swear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mum, if I do.
First question. You are 100 years old. You have all your faculties. Where in the world would you want to be?
Mauritius.
Oh,
lovely. There you go.
Wow, lovely.
What's your favourite snack?
Toffee crisps.
Of course.
What's your superpower?
Oh, intuition. That thing, the feeling one, emotional intelligence, whatever you want to call it.
Intuition. I love
Intuition,
that.
Love that.
yeah.
That's good.
Very nice. What does bravery mean to you?
DJing at Cafe Mambo. I mean, you told me to just do this one thing that came up in my head.
That is literally got to be my favourite answer.
That's so cool.
That's my
Who's going to get
favourite.
you to do that? That'd be so funny. Imagine going to Mambo's and just seeing Joe Cole.
Oh, brilliant.
Actually, that is my dream. That's what I want to do when I retire.
Oh my God, I love that.
I love
it. What's your favourite restaurant?
Turtle Bay.
Oh God.
What show would you recommend to binge watch?
Oh, well, I'm doing it now, and I don't know why, but I've started to watch EastEnders again.
I love it.
Because I think they're covering some really interesting topics,
They
and
are.
actually the way that the story, the writers,
The
are just,
writing,
like, they're on it.
They
Yeah.
are. It's honestly always been a fantastic show. People laugh. People laugh and joke about
Is
it.
pretty
No,
interesting.
the people laugh and joke about it, but EastEnders time and time again touches on subjects that people are dealing with on a day-to-day basis. Like there's a storyline around Stacey, who I literally love,
Oh, doing the OnlyFans.
doing the OnlyFans thing, and like the school, the parents in the school all taking the piss out of her, and I was just like, do not shame sex workers.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
people have to have a job.
Yeah.
It's a job at the end of the day, and people are doing that now. Like people
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
That is a people's job,
Yeah,
and like
people
they
need-
touch on those
and-
subjects.
yeah.
And there's another subject with, Lola, who's
Yeah,
currently
it's just passed.
I haven't watched the episode yet.
Sorry. It's not a surprise, though,
It's not a
is it?
surprise,
No.
but she's
Terminally
battling
ill, yeah.
terminal
The way they've
illness.
done that was fantastic.
Yeah, it's
I
just,
don't watch it personally, but
No,
I get a rundown from my mum and my brother because they are super fans also.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if I'm going to binge watch something that I can watch again and again, it's The Crown.
Oh, I've not
I'm a
seen
secret
that.
I
Crown
can't binge watch
watcher.
The Crown, not over and over again. I watched it and loved it, but I couldn't watch it again.
Mainly because I'm a super fan of young Princess Margaret.
There are so many layers to you, Joe Cole.
She's also slightly obsessed with Mel C.
He did DJ at Cafe
Yeah.
Mango last night.
Did she?
Yeah.
And the last one, this is from a good friend of mine, Brene Brown. You are called to be brave. What's the first thing you do?
Take on the role of Prime Minister.
You are wonderful. This has been my absolute favourite quickfire questions.
Something.
Yeah, that's great.
That's very creative.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Be Prime Minister.
To be Prime Minister, honestly, it's got to be the most stressful job.
Yeah.
Yeah, of
Especially
course,
if
yeah.
you're an empath.
Yeah.
You know, I would never make a decision.
You would be.
Oh, gosh.
We'd never get anywhere. I'd never make a
I'd kill
decision.
everyone. I'm joking. Oh god, that was great. That was probably one of the best quickfire questions we've had so far. So thank
Definitely.
you so much. So we're going to move on to our Mannies of the Week. It's the last part of our episode. I can't even speak there. The Prosecco's gone to my head. The last part of the episode is all about manifesting. I can't speak. You do it.
Manifesting our goals for the week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. What are we manifesting this week, people?
I'm just manifesting one big birthday bash
Yay!
celebration. I'm manifesting that this birthday energy continues throughout the year.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm here for that
a year
for
of
you.
birthdays. Do I do
Yeah.
this instead of clicking?
Yeah, clapping. Yeah, we don't
this
clap
is a
anymore.
mini clap.
What are you manifesting, Joe, for your week ahead?
I would really love to manifest to get back into my health. I had a little week off of running, so I'm feeling a bit like after saying about
Schlumpy.
my well-being. That
Yeah.
is something that's really important to me. So
Yeah.
I'm going to manifest that I want to get back into some running and maybe cut out a little bit of alcohol. Have a healthier week.
Balanced
Okay.
week.
Balanced
Amazing.
week. Yeah.
Balanced
I love
week.
that.
Yeah.
My manifestation is a bit shallow this week. Okay.
Okay.
I'm manifesting good hair. Okay.
Oh.
Because I get so nervous when I go in to get my hair done. I feel like I don't know what I'm going to come out as, and I've got a new hairdresser now that I'm trying, and so
New
I'm
stylist.
Yeah, new stylist, and I'm just really nervous. So yeah, I'm manifesting good hair and good vibes for my hair because I want it to look sick for Mykonos.
Mykonos.
I really and I kind of really want it to be long.
Oh yeah.
And I'm nervous, but
That would
I've
be
asked
amazing.
I'm doing it like shoulder length, so like just below my shoulders, which is still long because it's currently only up to here.
Can I make a suggestion?
Please do.
I really feel like you should get the ends a little bit ombre if you're going to go long.
Oh, I'm doing brown and black already.
What, like ombre or like mixed?
Mixed in, so that I have some brown, some black.
Oh
Yeah,
yes, love
Very
it.
nice.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Jealous you're going to Mykonos. I'll come and DJ at Mykonos.
Oh my god.
I am actually getting more and more excited. I wasn't excited before because I think I was just like, bloody hell, we're hemorrhaging money left, right, and centre for this trip. But I am excited. I think it's going to be.
You'll have
There's like
amazing
so
time.
many of us. It's all our friends. We haven't been on a big group holiday in
Years.
since
Years.
Sarah's wedding.
Yeah, but not everyone was there.
Not
I didn't
everyone
come.
was there, so yeah, this is going to be messy.
You're going to have a great
It's going to
time.
be debauchery.
It is amazing out there.
Absolute debauchery, and I am here for it. I'm
here for it.
I'm going to delete some space on my phone so I can get loads of videos.
That is where we're living, people. We have to delete photos of her phone rather than buy more storage.
Oh my god. Anyway, thank you so much, Joe,
Thank
for
you
coming
for having
on.
me.
I shall be taking the rest of the day off.
Thank you.
So will I. Don't tell anyone.
Yes, but thank you for coming on, and we'll have to get you on again to talk about something else soon, because I think you're actually a natural. You are a natural. We should get you on a TV show.
Yeah.
Send us.
Yes, thank you everyone for listening. I hope you've enjoyed. Stay brave, stay curious,
And stay honest.